What's up, everybody? Welcome back to a Wealth Not Weight channel. I am your host, as always, Joseph Queez, and on today's episode of Making a Mogul, I forget what number it is, but it's still Making a Mogul. Originally, I was going to talk about going through and talking about the free stocks, seeing if I want to compare that to anything that I have, and changing it out. But the free stocks are actually pretty good, and right now outperforming what I've done. I still think what I have is a good thing, but I don't think putting the $5 free stocks in and like changing it up is really going to make that much of a difference. One's up 30%, one's up 40% of the two free stocks I had, so I got $10 worth of free shares. They do give you really good stuff. So if you're wondering like, oh yeah, they're going to give me some bullshit stock. No, like realistically, you're probably about 30% or more up, at least in my experience. So unless I got really lucky with the draw of the free ones that they gave me, they actually give you some pretty good shit. Now, would these be houses I would personally invest in if I just put the money in? Maybe, maybe not. But just going through it, I really didn't think it would make that much of a difference, so I didn't want to make it a big part of the video. But I still wanted to talk about it and say that for the Landa app, the free shares they give you are actual free shares, and then you can go and maybe make money off it, 30 to 40%, in my experience at least. And then if you want to and you decided to, you could sell it off, put it into something else, take the money out, whatever it may be, and you get a little growth for yourself. So they are good shares that they give. So instead, we're gonna move towards another video. That was gonna be the other half of the video, but since one half of the video is pretty much easy and done and just summed up in this quick statement, we're gonna go and we're gonna watch another video today. So the video we're gonna be watching today is about Dave Ramsey, someone who was very influential, and I talked a little bit about in my learning of financial literacy and getting better and getting stronger with my finances. It was a very big part of it, and a big reason why I stopped using credit and cut up my credit cards and the whole nine, and guided me in a way to something that's more of an emotional piece of, okay, I don't have to worry about making payments and doing this and doing that. When a lot of other financial people that I looked up and a lot of what my friends and people around me were doing was getting into credit card debt, taking out car loans, some of them even getting mortgages, starting to do things and put all that strain and pressure and weight on themselves for things that later on they kind of found out, hey, maybe I don't want this. Hey, maybe this wasn't a good idea. So I kind of dodged a bullet with that, and I have Dave Ramsey to thank for a lot of that. And for why part of the chapter of my book was originally all about credit. When I talk about credit, because it's important, a lot of people like to use it, and you should know how to use it, understand it. But a lot of it is why I am so adversely against it. But he also does a lot of real estate, and originally he made his money in real estate and then became bankrupt, I believe, for it, or at least not very, very close to bankruptcy from it. And then he built up and got better and now discovered all this financial stuff and been talking for many decades now. And I want to talk about it because he mentioned something about real estate that is very, very important. And part of the reason why I'm not going a traditional sense as far as real estate, and more the reason why I'm getting into it in this capacity and trying something like the Landa app. So we'll jump in that video. I have it in the below. I also have it in the playlist. So if you guys want to watch along, if you want to follow, if you want to make your own determinations on it, again, I don't know why you would want to do that, I don't know why you wouldn't like mine, but if you guys, I encourage people to make their own determinations on it and decide if that is the right step for them. So I encourage you to watch that and follow along with me, but I'll give you my opinion and showing little clips of where I'm coming from with that now.
Ideally in the aspect of real estate, passive income and whatnot.
But when idiots on the internet say real estate is passive income, that means they've never owned any. Because there's nothing passive about dealing with renters. And heat and air that goes out, and roofs that leak, and a coach department shows up and wants to shut you down because somebody across the street cut a sewer line. Even if you're managing the managing company, they've still got to call you and approve the $8,400 new heating and air system that blew up.
So as you guys can see, that's very basically the reason why, or a good portion of it, and something I talked about in the first Making a Mogul episode on why I'm doing this form of real estate and trying things like land and doing that. I'm not someone who right now is in a position to go out and pay cash for it. I could leverage myself up to my eyeballs. I could do all that, but that's not me. That's not the way I do it. And secondly, it's also something very active. You got to be out there. You got to do it. Yes, of course, like you said, yeah, of course there's going to be property management companies, and you could do this. You get $1 billion portfolios, and you make 6 decisions a day, and then you're making the money and you're just collecting the checks. It gets better as you go on, but you have to learn all that first. You got to be out there. If you watch anybody on TikTok who goes, oh, I own 3 properties. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. There's some of them who are a little bit of snake oil salesmen, but a lot of them I watch is like, no, I gotta go evict the tenant today. The fucking water heater went out because I don't want to spend all that money, or I can't find a tradesman to do this particular thing. I'm gonna go do it myself. They're very active, strong people who are trying to make a good property for someone to live in as a home, and that's what me. I'm not gonna be a slumlord. I wouldn't do anything like that to someone. So I want to spend the money, and then if not spend the money, I have to do it myself and use my time, energy, effort to do that. And that's not something I want to apply my efforts to just yet. I don't want to be super, super active in the real estate market, stocks and flipping things and doing comic books and this and that. That's something I really enjoy and something I really know. There's a lot of active to it. Very few things are very passive when it comes to income. You can put money in an S&P 500, it grows 10% a year, and you have a good retirement fund. That's something that's very, somewhat passive at least. You obviously got to manage your money and do it correctly, but it's like, you spend an hour a week, 2 hours a week, maybe 3 hours a month, something like that, especially, as you get the hold of it. That's not something that doesn't require all that time. But something to get a substantial amount of income, not just 10% a year, to grow more, to have some form of income coming in, not just an investment, but something that's making you that cash flow and is essentially maybe a career or a business or your primary source. That is very active. That's something you have to do very active. And then same thing with Landa. It's more of a passive thing. I'm not making ridiculous returns and then tax benefits and this and that because I'm not active with it. I understand if I was and I did real estate in a proper traditional sense, I'd have more benefits. But it would also spend more time, effort, energy, and money to do so. So proportionally, the amount of effort I'm putting in, finding good properties, managing my finances, putting in small amounts of money, getting it set up, making it a decent amount of my portfolio, but not like fucking huge, and learning as I go and getting that education, I'm making a proportional amount, if not better than a proportional amount to that versus doing all that and then actively managing, going out, replacing water heaters, finding a management company, okay, this one doesn't work, evicting tenants, doing this, and setting that all up. So that's a big thing. You guys can obviously follow your own path. I'm not someone who likes credit and debt and this and that. I had a conversation with someone who was a close friend of mine, and they were talking. They said, yeah, but why are you going to do that? You can make I talked to a financial advisor. They said, well, you could take the 16 grand for a car and put it in the stock market, and you're going to make more money in the interest and this and that. Maybe. I mean, that may be the case. That may have happened. But I shit you fucking not. Guess what happened 3 months. I'll give a proper credit. 3 months later, COVID hit. Especially when you're a young person, you just got out of college, you're doing stuff, you're trying to find your way, you're trying to find apartments, you're doing that, and now you're leveraging yourself for something stupid like a car, thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to make all this money, and you get smacked in the face with something like that. 2008, 2009, financial crisis. Early 2000s, dot-com bubble. Every 10, 15 years, something like that happens. So if you're someone who uses leverage and you're smart about it, like a Graham Stephan, he can make money and do all that. Ben Mall, they could, absolutely. You get a billionaire, you got to probably leverage a lot, but you got to be smart about it. You can't bet the farm and do stuff like that. And that's also the pressure. I am so fucking happy knowing I owe nobody nothing. I don't have to fucking give anybody a cent of my money. I don't have to do anything like that. I put all my money, I buy assets, I buy things I enjoy, I do things that make me happy. I wake up in the morning with a smile on my face and I do stuff and I enjoy it. And I'm really happy doing that. And it's going to grow money slowly, or maybe like comic books, maybe a little quicker. I could buy something for $160, and 6 months later, it's all sold for $700, $800. It's a pretty quick return, but it's very active, not passive, something along those lines. And taking that same approach for something like this and learning Landa, I could see myself putting a considerable amount of money into that and real estate and doing real estate deals later on in life. And building along with that and maybe owning a property or doing that or getting in and owning a property and setting something up, growing with someone and doing something along those lines. But right now, that's not where my mind is at. So I just want to show you guys kind of a fundamental thing that not just sets up my finances, but a reason for this, a reason why I teach people. Like you said, you got to know yourself. If you're happy with leverage and this and that, and you want to do this and go down this path and follow the people who've done it and done it amazingly, not just like a quick, TikToker who's like, yeah, I'll make $1 million a year doing this and that. Like someone who does it, like actively does it and, is really good at it. And you have the skills, the chops and all that to do it. And that's what makes you happy. And if you fail, fuck it. Well, at least you tried and you're happy with that portion of it. Be my guest. I'm happy to apply those things, but the things that I enjoy. And I know owing people money and doing that and instead doing something like this makes me a lot happier. So that's just a little bit of it. I hope you guys like this video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know in the comments below if you own traditional real estate and you follow that along, how much of an active process is it for you? Is it something that you're working very hard at? Do you have a management company? Did you build yourself up now where you're doing like him and you answer those phone calls and okay, I will make this decision, do this, but it's very much not a full-time job for you. And it's more, not passive-like, but it's more passive than the active thing of this is what I do 24/7. So guys, let me know in the comments below. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.